Well, being it's kind of warm today and I'm not really in the mood to do a lot of cleaning of black powder guns, I have here's my Colt Walker replica done by Uberti, and I've got a conversion cylinder here. This is 45 ACP done by Howell, and we've got some cartridges to put in there. So we're gonna get after that. This will be the first time I've used the conversion cylinder in the Walker. Get that out here. This is a massive cylinder. Of course, the gun is the same, over 4 pounds. I suppose some are wondering why I did an ACP cylinder with this gun. I'm kind of wondering myself at times why I didn't go with the Colt 45 Colt. But basically, I got the setup for doing the 45 ACPs, and also basically just interested in seeing what it would do in this long-barreled gun here, heavy duty firearm, and I would like to see what the ACP rounds will do. I have an ACP cylinder for the 1858 Pietas. I know the ACP cylinder can be a little bit picky on the 45 loads. You want to make sure that as you drop one down, you can feel a little edge here on your cylinder. Otherwise, it just is too tight and may not fit good in the frame of the gun. So we have to watch out when we're producing the cartridges or purchasing or whatever you're doing. And these look like they're going to fit just fine. Okay, we've got 6 cartridges here in the cylinder, and that was the easy part. What's going to come next, I'll be taking the cylinder that's in the gun, taking that out and getting this loaded cylinder into it. I should correct myself a little bit too, because I shouldn't have a problem putting this cylinder into the gun once I get the cylinder that's in there out, because with this one you're going to just slide this over the arbor here, and then the barrel is going to go on, and if the area in here isn't, is open a little bit because our cartridges didn't go down far enough for whatever reason, then as we pound our barrel wedge in here, what's going to happen is we'll draw the barrel up tight against this cylinder, and it probably won't rotate. Whereas a solid frame guns like the Remington, you have to slide the cylinder in. If you don't have the clearance, because this is out of ways, you're not going to get it in the gun to begin with. Alright, we'll carefully set that aside. If you don't want that tipping off the bench and ended up hitting one of our primers going off, so should be safe there. Got some tools here. We've had some issues before with this gun, and why I'm thinking of it, I added on to the front sight here because it was shooting high, and now it shoots pretty much point of aim at 20 yards, and that's with around 35 to 40 grains of black powder and a round ball. Okay, so the issues I've had with this gun right out of the factory, and it's probably nobody's fault, and I wasn't aware of it, and maybe some folks aren't either, that the arbor here that the cylinder rotates on is actually tapered. Let's see if we can get this barrel wedge out here and get our barrel off. A lot of times what I'll do is put my cylinder here half cock and using a loading lever to remove the barrel here, and if that came out okay, so I'm good with that. I was starting to say the first time I did that, nothing happened, it wouldn't move. I ended up tapping slightly on the loading lever here. That didn't work. I didn't want to do that too much because we're going to end up denting or messing up our chambers here. So that didn't work, and then I ended up with putting a wooden wedge in along here between the cylinder and the frame, and then whapping on that with a big hammer, and that did no good. So then I got a little disturbed and went with a cold chisel in there, and that's where that little raised, it shows up in the camera, but that's that little raised portion here of the frame. Doesn't affect the gun at all, but it reminds me of not being stupid pretty well. How do I know that this section here of the arbor is tapered, I probably would have applied some heat on our barrel here, maybe got up to 150 or 200 degrees, and I think then that would have taken care of the problem. Anyway, this is off now, so the next step would be to slide our cylinder on. Okay, and back to the barrel. Again, that wedge sometimes, if it isn't the right angle, will catch you up there. Alright, we shove that in, turn it over, shove our wedge in, and I'm going to wrap that just a little bit and make sure my cylinder still rotates. Okay, we're good there. Set that hammer down between a couple of cylinders here, or chambers I should say, and put the gun down and get our boxes, things out of the way, and get to shooting it. Figured it would shoot high. It felt like a 22 going off. We'll see what we end up with this next 6. Okay, 7:02. We are remembering this time to check our chrono. So here's the first target that we shot. Group-wise, 6 shots, nothing to brag about for sure. I can do better than that, I believe, with the gun here. I normally shoot probably a 2.5 inch group with the black powder with it. Second target looked a little better. I got a lower one here, which could have been me dropping the sight. So that was a little more promising. And that's with our 200 grain semi-wide cutter bullet here. We're going to switch to a 230 grain Lee Tumble Lube and shoot 6 shots and see how that ends up. Well, I've dropped down to 160 grain Lee bullet, and we did increase the powder charge a tad. Want to see what our speeds are running. We'd like to get that shot shoot a little lower. We'll see what this does. Alright, we got one more string here. This time we replaced the front sight with a higher one, and we're again shooting out 230 grain Lee bullets. Well, string number 7, we moved our front sight just a little to the right as it was shooting to the right, and we also took a little bit off from it. Should be getting closer to the bull now. That big heavy barrel keeps wanting to slide down on me. Well, there, it took 7 strings to get where we wanted to be, and probably a little bit of luck too, but I think we got our sight the way we want it, and got a bullet that seems to be shooting pretty well. That's 230 grain. temperatures reach about 95 degrees, and we're pretty happy right now. We don't have to go clean this thing, although cleaning can be kind of interesting, kind of fun, but not at this temperature. I mean, I'd probably end up going into the wife's bedroom with his air conditioner in there, and you know, it just wouldn't work out well in there. So anyway, had a good time shooting this. Like I say, a little warm, but took us a whole mess of targets to get where we wanted to get to, but looks like we made her.